What we're going to do is take a look at what happened this week at the Traders Alpha site and see what's happened since these forecasts came about. Let's go way down and start at the bottom of the page. Let's go to the 17th. Yeah, here we go. 17th indications point to a reversal in EUR MXN, which occurred over here, which was stated over here. Here was the reversal, and then it went down further. But let's see what really happened. Looking at this on a 60-minute chart, this is where the comment was made around this time period here, this value here. And as we can see, prices continued going down and have been kind of bopping around. And let's move on to something else. At 3 o'clock on February 17th, which was about this area here, prices were kind of going sideways in the market. And at that point in time, we put out stock indices are giving strong overbought indications. However, still higher prices are what we see, and prices did go up to the finale up here. This is a SPX chart, I believe. Let's see. The next one was let's see, at 6:25 a.m. Saying a 1%, an up to 1% jump this morning in stock indices. Up to meaning that amount or less than, and then indicators see resistance under 110 in the SPX. Now this was on the 18th. Here's 10 o'clock in the morning, and as we can see, prices went up to 103.56, and then later on during the day jumped a little higher. During the on the 18th, they did not go above 110, as you can see here. On February 18th at 3 o'clock, just before the Fed announcement, probably an hour or so before, we acknowledged that prices have hit an important resistance area at the end of the day, and a 2% decline from the highs in this area here is our estimate, and we got a decline of a little bit over 1% before prices went up again. Moving on to February 19th at 10 o'clock, fairly early in the morning, mentioned that many investors are focusing on equity indices and their pending down move, and will they focus on the dollar again? And what we found was that this was where the dollar was, and the dollar index, and as you can see here, this is it tells you 10 o'clock. This is a 5-minute chart, it looks like, and this is what happened thereafter. So we were looking at the high in the dollar this week. DOBSE is seen as a potential reversal point by our indicators. DOBSE indicating something you could say, gee, this is probably a high daily pivot. After the market closed on the 19th, we gave, or around closing time, we gave a forecast on the 19th, and this is a 15-minute chart, and here's 3 o'clock here. 3 o'clock forecast, I'll show you in a minute, effectively said that this here is the high on a DOBSE indicator, suggesting a daily high, and that it's down from here for the indices. This here, what we're looking at is the S&P index. And as you can see, this is what we said. Also mentioned the reversal, and the dollar is holding. And this was the high bar here. This looks like an hourly chart. And so that was the end of the move of this particular leg of the market on a daily chart. As we look at this chart here, we see a CAD USD chart, and at this point here in time, it was 8:30 in the morning on Friday, the 22nd, the forecast was for a reversal, that this low pivot here was having an important reversal. It's a DOBSE, so it's a daily, and looking at a counter move that will last typically several days, if not weeks. Here we're looking at the February 22nd, 11 o'clock, just simply saying that, gee, New York index prices briefly went down to this value here this morning, and this is the next high, which is going to be about 1% of the underlying, and right here it was, let's say, 105, and up here it got up to 112 almost. So it didn't even go up 1%. Uh, and and then should this low here be exceeded, and broken effectively in the next 24 hours, then a sharp decline is forecasted. And you can see here that prices did break this low right here and stayed below it for a while, even went up and did a little bit of a correction, and then boom, down. Nice gap to the downside, several percentage points down. Here's a Swiss franc over Canadian dollar chart, and at this value here we were saying this has an important reversal here, and as you can see, prices did go up, came back down, and then did a nice shooting to the upside for several days. So this was a DOBSE. Our forecast was really pretty much the same for these here. So once again, these have been going down for some time, showing a strong reversal here, which was also a DOBSE. On February 25th at noon, came out with a forecast that the Australian dollar versus the U.S. dollar had a significant reversal, and this was at this value here that we put the forecast out at noon, so this is where it was there, and then it just went and went and went, several percentage points higher in a couple of days. Then we finished off the week with copper. We made a forecast in the morning that stock indices in copper have had their low IOBSE, their low intraday point, and you can see copper. We put the forecast out when the time was about a year, and copper. This is copper here, and it just shot up nicely that day, and then closed up here someplace. The other part of the forecast was that the low here in the indices was a low IOBSE, so intraday low, and so it's up we go from there. And as you can see, that happened nicely. This is all from tradersalpha.com.